Why do people say happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas on Christmas Day?
Yeah, it's mostly about inclusivity. Happy Holidays covers a range of celebrations that happen around the same time of year, like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year's, not just Christmas. It's a way to be mindful of different traditions and make everyone feel included.
So, if it's a Christmas holiday, why not just say Merry Christmas? In the same way that people say Happy Diwali, Ramadan Kareem, and all the other religious holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. In contexts where everyone shares the same cultural or religious background, saying Merry Christmas definitely makes sense. But in more diverse or public settings, people might choose Happy Holidays to be more inclusive and respectful of everyone's traditions. It's all about context and audience.
Now, if it was a Ramadan Kareem, do they say Happy Holidays?
In the context of Ramadan, people typically say Ramadan Mubarak or Ramadan Kareem as greetings, but in more secular or multicultural settings, people might still say happy holidays to be inclusive of everyone, especially if there are other celebrations happening at the same time. It really depends on the community and the context.
Who says Happy Holidays during Ramadan?
In general, you might hear happy holidays in more secular or diverse environments where multiple cultural or religious holidays are acknowledged at once. For example, in workplaces or public spaces that want to be inclusive to everyone. Even during Ramadan, you'll sometimes hear happy holidays as a neutral greeting. It's not as common as the specific Ramadan greetings, but it can happen in more mixed or interfaith settings.
In and when it's a Jewish holidays, who says Happy Holidays?
With Jewish holidays, people often use specific greetings like Shana Tova for Rosh Hashanah or Hag Sameach for holidays like Passover or Hanukkah. But in more general or interfaith contexts, especially in public or workplace settings, people might still say happy holidays as a way to acknowledge multiple celebrations.
I have never heard anyone say Happy Holidays besides when it's Christmas.
That definitely makes sense, especially in more localized or culturally homogenous environments. In those settings, people tend to stick
Ever,
to.
even if it's not a homogenized, I've never heard that being said when it's not Christmas.
Yeah, that's totally fair. It can definitely vary depending on where you are and the cultural norms of that area. In many places, Happy Holidays is more of a seasonal greeting that pops up around the winter time, and it might not be as commonly used outside of that context. It
So
really comes.
since if it's a Christmas holiday, why not just say Merry Christmas and make why make this attempt at forced inclusivity for a holiday which everyone knows is a Christian holiday?
Yeah, that's a really thoughtful point. It definitely stems from the idea of being mindful of all the different traditions and making sure that everyone
Okay,
feels welcome, especially in
when you
more
say
diverse.
when you say being mindful, is it offensive to say Merry Christmas?
In most cases, it's not offensive at all, especially if you know the person celebrates Christmas. It really comes down to the context and the relationship. In more diverse settings, it's just a way to be considerate and avoid excluding anyone. But generally, if you say
So
Merry
who
Christmas,
would feel excluded when they know that the holiday that is celebrated on the 25th of December is a Christian holiday, and everyone makes allowance for every other holiday, but Christian holidays are not are meant to be an inclusive holiday? What do you mean?
I get what you're saying. A lot of times, the idea behind using inclusive greetings is more about being sensitive to the diversity of beliefs and traditions that people might have. Even though Christmas is widely celebrated, there are definitely individuals who might not observe it, and using a neutral greeting can help ensure everyone feels included. But it's definitely a balance, and it varies a lot depending on the community and the context.
So if it's a Christmas holiday and you know that the majority of religious people, maybe I think, are Christians, so you would put the priority. The priority must be the minority who are not Christians at the time? Or what do you mean?
I see what you mean. It definitely can feel like there's a tension between respecting the majority tradition and being inclusive of everyone else. In practice, a lot of people and institutions try to strike a balance by acknowledging the primary holiday while still being mindful of diversity. It's really about finding that respectful middle ground, and that can definitely vary depending on the situation and the people involved.
Okay, so why not practice the same the respect and inclusivity when it's Ramadan?
That's a really good point. And in many places, there is indeed an effort to be inclusive during
Nope,
Ramadan as
nope,
well.
nope,
For
nope,
instance,
nope. There are no places that say happy holidays on Ramadan.
that's understandable, and it definitely can vary depending on where you are. In some
Okay,
communities, the
okay, give
focus.
me one example and cite the example of someone who said happy holidays during Ramadan. One,
That's
just one example.
I totally understand. Well, it's less common. There are definitely some multicultural or interfaith organizations that may use more neutral greetings like happy holidays during Ramadan to be inclusive. For example, some community centers or workplaces that have a diverse staff might choose that approach. It's definitely not the norm, but it can happen in certain contexts.
Okay, if you say happy holidays to someone during Ramadan, that person doesn't observe Ramadan. So why would you feel the need to say that to them? Because the greeting is actually supposed to be directed at the person celebrating the holiday. So if you say happy holidays to someone who already doesn't observe Ramadan, that's a moot point, is it not?
I get what you're saying, and it definitely makes sense that the greeting should be meaningful and relevant to the person receiving it. In practice, the idea behind using more neutral greetings is often more about public or communal spaces where there's a mix of traditions. But you're absolutely right that it's important for greetings to be genuine and appropriate to the individual. It's definitely a nuanced balance.
If it's a public place and you're saying happy holidays, who are you saying it to? To everyone?
Exactly. In public or communal spaces, the idea is often to acknowledge everyone collectively, recognizing that there might be a variety of holidays and traditions happening at the same time. So, saying happy holidays can be a way to be inclusive and considerate of everyone in that space, even if not everyone observes the same holiday. It's
Why not
definitely
just say Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Christmas? That's it. And then I've never heard anyone say Happy Holidays in any other celebration.
absolutely. It definitely makes sense that in more specific or familiar settings, people stick to the most direct and relevant greetings like Merry Christmas for those who celebrate it. It's really all about the context and the people involved, and the main goal is always to be thoughtful and respectful. It's definitely a nuanced balance.
So if you say Merry Christmas, you're not being respectful to who?
In general, if you say Merry Christmas to someone who doesn't celebrate it, it might feel a bit exclusive to them, but it really depends on the context and the relationship. Most of the time, people understand the intent behind the greeting. It's really more about being aware and considerate in diverse settings, and finding that balance is always the key.
Okay, why not say Happy Holidays in Ramadan then? That's my point. You're not saying Happy Holidays in Ramadan. I've never heard anyone say that.
I totally get where you're coming from. It really does come down to how common certain practices are in different contexts. In some places, there's more emphasis on specific greetings for specific.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's ChatGPT, and that's that's an interesting program that they put in there regarding the holidays, and I think it's a bit silly because everyone knows it's a Christmas holiday. So why not just say Merry Christmas? It's the same as the same is done with Ramadan. I always say Ramadan Kareem to the Muslim brothers and sisters. So why not celebrate each holiday fully when it's taking place instead of making half-baked attempts at fake inclusivity to people who don't really need it.